Also, we got a chance to speak to Baba Kalyani, Chairman and Managing Director at Bharat Forge and TV Narendra, and immediately after CI, after his post from CII and Chairman. Let's hear out what they told us about this budget and key takeaways.
This has been something we've been asking for every year. And to be fair to the finance minister, every year she's kind of increased the outlay very, very significantly. And I think it's good for the country, good for industry, because investment in infrastructure helps create demand for multiple industries, which includes commercial vehicles, which includes cement, which includes steel, and many others. It creates employment across the country because infrastructure is built across the country. And it helps us because it reduces the cost of logistics, which in India is higher than it is in many other countries. So it has a multiple beneficial impact, and that's why we are happy.
Baba Kalyani, if I can come to you now, let's first begin by the hike in the capital expenditure to 10 lakh crores, railways 2.4 lakh crores. However, the defense outlay seems to be lower than what many experts had been anticipating.
For me?
Yes, for you, Baba Kalyani.
Okay. The defense expenditure has gone up by about 13.5 or 14%. So it's not too bad. Most times, the defense budgets have been underspent. So the problem not lies so much with the budgetary allocation for defense expenditure. And if I'm right, I think the Honorable Finance Minister has said many times that if more money is needed for defense, she is quite happy to provide it. I think it's in the whole procurement cycle. And I think, what we are beginning to see is a big improvement in that procurement cycle. So many of the companies that are engaged in defense, I think will benefit from this. Second, the whole concept of Atmanirbhar in defense is coming to play. And if you saw the last Defense Expo in Ahmedabad that took place a few months ago, there was no foreign company in Ahmedabad. There's only Indian companies. And I think that is now beginning to play out.
Absolutely. So if you were to look at the, this outlay, like you said, it's higher by 13%. But Baba Kalyani, if I could stay with this theme with you. You're saying in the last Defense Expo, only one foreign company was there to be seen. This is a government that's talking about China Plus, a government that's talking about being Atmanirbhar, and also wants to make India a defense exports hub. What we've seen in the stock markets is a massive re-rating that has taken place for defense stocks. I wanted to get a sense from you, on ground, what is the execution like? The orders that are being won as well, the turnaround time that we're seeing. Have the bureaucracy also improved? Or have the markets run ahead of themselves?
No, I think things are improving. If you expect the defense procurement procedure to change overnight, I don't think that's going to happen. It's a complex procedure, but I think changes are happening. Second, in terms of exports, I think we are more successful in the export markets with defense products and platforms. Our own company has got huge orders for exports, which we are now executing. So I think things from that perspective look quite good to me.
Okay, things are looking good. TV Narendra, and if I could come to you, there's a lot that's going to happen. For example, privatization of 50 airports. There's a railway budget outlay for 2.4 lakh crore rupees as well. But having said all of that, this is also a budget that is focusing on going green. Look at the commentary that's come in for that, as far as hydrogen and electrolyzers also go. Therefore, is the pressure also going to be on companies like yourselves to reduce the carbon footprint? Of course, you're all working towards that. But I think this government has also made its intentions very, very clear.
Yeah, Nayantara, I think the intentions are clear. I think a lot of goals have been set. What the government has also said is it's ahead of some of those goals which they've committed to the international community. And I think this budget is putting the money where the mouth is in some sense. So I think directionally we're moving in the right direction, but it's a long journey. So if I look at hard to abate sectors like steel and cement, you certainly need to have green energy sources available, green hydrogen available. You need to have the policy framework to support investments in these areas as a user industry. Like in Europe, you need to have carbon border adjustment mechanisms to make sure that carbon inefficient products don't come into the country when you're investing in creating carbon efficient products. So it's a long journey, but I think we are taking some good steps towards it. I also saw that even something like pump storage is being encouraged because honestly, if you have the volatility in supply, which is inevitable with renewable sources, and the volatility in demand, which is inevitable when process industries like us shift to green energy sources, then you need storage options in between. And battery is just one option and may not be a good option for large industrial processes. So you need pump storage and other such solutions. So I think there is obviously a lot of thinking going on in this subject. And I think CII also be working with the government so that we take a more holistic view. So I think we're making the right steps. A lot more needs to be done, of course.
Oh, yes, of course, a lot more needs to be done. Now, having said that, and for this one, I'd like to come to you, Baba Kalyani. Look at the way the government, every budget in the last few years, has done its bit to increase capital expenditure. One more steep hike to 10 lakh crore rupees. The big question is, the recent reforms that we've all been hearing about, coupled with today's union budget speech, is it good enough to get you, your peers in India Inc., to step on the gas when it comes to Capex? We've been hearing about the Mahakumbh for Capex, as Kumar Mangalam Birla said, but tell us, Baba Kalyani, do you think now, finally, India Inc. will step on the gas and we will see that Capex turnaround?
Nayantara, first of all, I want to tell you the way we see it in India Inc., we are already doing Capex. It's just that we are doing Capex with our own money rather than going to the banks and borrowing, like it used to happen in the old days. I don't think any one of us has stopped Capex. Matter of fact, now with this budget and the kind of growth prospects that we see with the huge capital expenditure the government is going to do on infrastructure, which Narendran talked about, is quite clear. Demand for commercial vehicles will go up, demand for construction equipment will go up. A lot of secondary and tertiary industries which are connected with this, the demand for them will go up, and you have to increase capacities. You have to incur Capex. You can't, there is no escape from incurring Capex. The difference is, this time around, many industries are very cautious in terms of incurring Capex through borrowings. They would rather do it with their own money. And most of us have a lot of money on our balance sheets. And that is the difference. So I think we are incurring Capex. The Capex cycle is on. It is going to accelerate. And as you see government's capital expenditure coming, I think by a lag of a quarter or so, you will see private sector Capex also coming in. If you want to build green energy complexes, electrolyzers, you want to build pump storage, as was just talked about, all this is huge Capex. It doesn't happen without Capex. And the private sector is supposed to do it. So we are all going to move in that direction. And, just talk about green energy. I just want to mention this. I don't want to embarrass Narendran on this, but we are the first steel company in India. We're a small steel company that has become green. We make green steel.
Yeah. No, and I remember your son, Amit Kalyani, was also in Delhi when that had to be launched. But Baba Kalyani, the other business of yours that I want to talk about was the auto space, and some announcements that have been made today which could give a fillip to the EV industry, concessions for lithium-ion batteries. However, for imports, the customs duty could be hiked. I want to get a sense from you. What is this budget going to mean for EVs?
I think, EV is a directional change that is going to happen in the automotive industry. That is very clear. That's a mega trend all over the world, and India cannot escape that. The question is, what is the timing of this? My own feel on EVs is that by 25, 26, almost 100% of the two-wheelers and three-wheelers will become electric. So that's going to be one industry that will change in the next, let's say, 4 years to electric. Now that is what is going to create the kind of ecosystem, because the numbers are like 30 million two-wheelers and three-wheelers we make per year. Now, when you make that many electric vehicles, you will have an ecosystem of electronic components, the subsystems that go into EVs, etc. A whole industry will develop, a new industry will develop to scale and size, and therefore be cost competitive. And I think the policies that the government is putting in is to make that industry cost competitive. Now, once that ecosystem develops, then it will get translated in a much larger way to four-wheelers and commercial vehicles, etc. So I think the direction is set. As far as automotive industry is concerned, my own view is if you look at our four-wheeler business today, we are at about 4 million or little more than 4 million. We tout ourselves as being the fifth largest manufacturer of automobiles, but we are far away from where we need to be. By 2047, we did this exercise 6 months ago with between automotive components and automobile manufacturers, part of a DPIIT program.
That's TV Narendran as well as Baba Kalyani sharing their final verdict on Budget 2023. And stay tuned to ET Now as we continue to decode the budget and its aftermath. On that note, we're wrapping it up right here on the show. Thanks for watching.